And go.
All right. So, hi everyone. This is so exciting. This is like our biggest team call over the last like 4 months. This is so fantastic. Um, so, today is Tuesday, March 21st, which is so hard to believe. It's almost the end of March, and I feel like we were just on this call saying that it was just the beginning of March. So, I hope you guys are all having a great month. I just want to shout out Serafina, who's on the call tonight for the first time. So I'm so happy that you're here. We can't see your face. I don't know if you can see ours, but if you can, we're all happy to see you. Just wanted to kick off with a few team announcements. So as many of you know, we have been running free groups, Claire and I, for the past few months. And Loretta, that's weird. Don't eavesdrop. It might get awkward. Um, so we've been running free groups and we've been trying to be consistent with them by running them the last week of the month, just to give people something for free when it comes to clean eating or free exercises. We often get a lot of people on social media who are looking for, just a start, and that's often a way to start, right, without having to commit too heavily. So we do have another one coming up on Monday, the 27th, and there's no real theme other than clean eating. So I think you guys were probably part of a few of our other groups where we tried to be cute and theme, and to be quite honest with you, our lives have been a little bit chaotic, so we just kept it simple this time. So feel free, if you guys have anyone that you want to invite to that group, we'll be setting it up this weekend, and it'll kick off officially we'll probably put like a pre-post up on Sunday, but we'll officially kick off on Monday with the content so that people can get started there. And then our next challenge group is going to kick off on April 3rd, which is the following Monday. And for anyone that saw my post this morning, Claire and I are about to get real serious real fast for the people that are in our challenge groups. Just when we signed a contract last November, some of you were aware of this, it really held us accountable to our goals. And with spring right around the corner, we want to try to provide that same accountability to the people in our groups. So we're going to create like a fun little worksheet. Jen, you'll probably appreciate this with your teaching background. So we'll have people fill out a worksheet that says, like, what are your challenges? What are your obstacles? What are you good at? What are you not so good at? And what are your goals for the end of this 4-week challenge? And really help hold them accountable. So we're probably going to keep the group pretty small. We won't have 85 people like we've had in the past, in an attempt to monitor the best of our ability and follow up with people to say, hey, saw you didn't post in 2 days. What's going on? So really looking for people that are ready to get serious with their health and fitness and who need that kind of extra kick in the pants like I need. So that's that. And then you guys will see in our challenge group right now, Claire and I are posting the next 3 days for our coach opportunity call, or coach sneak peek, sorry. And we'll talk a little bit more about this as we get into our 90-day plan topic. But we have that kicking off tomorrow through the rest of the week. So just providing a little sneak peek into our coaching life. I think that is it in terms of announcements. Claire, did I miss anything?
No, but I just had some quick shout outs that I wanted to rattle off before we jumped in. Actually, there's some really cool things that you guys are doing in my team, so I just really had to shout you guys out. First, I wanted to congratulate Allie, who has officially completed her coach training. She basically had finished it, but now you've officially chosen your next personal development group. So girlfriend is free and flying, and you're rocking it in the Emerald group. So you're doing amazing right now. So I had to shout you out. I wanted to shout out Meredith, who locked in Success Club 6. Kind of snuck that one in there. I kind of like didn't pick that up right away. But Meredith has done this all while moving, transitioning to a brand new job, and also, may I say, killing it with live videos right now, just slaying it. So way to go, girl. I also want to quickly shout out Steph, who just got a new job, who has been hustling real hard with your health and fitness. Can't wait to see what you're going to do next, girl. Brittany, I think she's got an insane week right now. She's not on the call, maybe not yet, sometimes she's connectivity issues, but she posted a really awesome transformation this morning. So just wanted to show some mad love because that was really awesome to see. And last one I want to end with is Christine Faulkner, because girl, you are seriously, and I'm going to say, I said this to you tonight, I'm going to say it to you again, one of the boldest and fearless people probably on this call, will speak her mind at the drop of a hat. But I'm just so proud of you for showing up and being here no matter what, and just being you, and we love you for it. And you're going to do some killer things this month. All right, that's it. Take it away, Nicole.
Awesome job, girls. And to piggyback off that, Jen finished her training too.
Ah, way to go. Killing it. Man, we got some slayers here.
Yeah, no kidding. You guys are on fire. So, full transparency, I talked about a 30, 60, 90-day plan, just finished mine, so better late than never. We're still technically in quarter one, as we call it in the corporate world, so to prepare for quarter two, I think I'm ahead of the game. But wanted to take some time to talk to you guys today about how that applies not only to our regular lives in corporate America, in my case, but in the Beachbody world and in the fitness world and in our nutrition. So as I mentioned, I was kind of under contract for quarter four. Claire and I both were, and that's when we saw the best results because we had a plan mapped out. So it really got us thinking back in November, how can we stay consistent in all aspects of our life as we move forward into the new year? So we set out in January and we mapped out 90 days. And that's how you'll see that we're pretty consistent when it comes to running groups, setting up free groups, inviting people to our groups, how we schedule our day. So I don't think of myself much of a creature of habit, but when it comes to mapping out monthly plans, I really am. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my rationale and how I go about doing that. And Claire's going to talk about hers as well. So I am going to glance down at my notes because I mapped it out into steps. And if you guys have ever been on a call with me before where I talk about a process, I usually have a 1 through 5 system. So I'm going to walk through that and feel free to take notes, but I'll also, I'm a graphic queen too, so I'll do up a graphic. So my first and foremost, as I was mapping out things on my calendar tonight, I looked at 90 days and I thought about how daunting that can feel. Don't let it feel like an eternity because it's really not. Like, we look back at January 3rd, I think was when our last challenge group started, and that feels like it was just yesterday. That was almost 90 days ago. It's absolutely insane. So what I challenge you guys to do when you think about particularly this business, but also about your health and fitness goals, is to think about what you want to achieve in chunks. So think about 30, 60, and 90 days and literally write it out to say in 30 days, here's what I want to achieve. In 60 days, here's what I want to achieve, and then so on in 90 days. And the way that I break my stuff out is in terms of personal, so that might include my fitness and nutrition, financial, so I set myself financial goals, and sometimes they're small, like not getting a coffee every single day on my way to work. Sometimes they're big, like setting student loan goals and trying to pay off student loans, and I set a date with those. And then I also set business goals. So do I want to grow my team? Do I want to advance my rank? Do I want to, achieve certain things in this business or in my corporate life? So just trying to break it out into chunks like that and make sure that you have measurable targets next to them. And that's where that 30, 60, 90 days comes into place. So that's step one. Step two, so again, with my post earlier, I showed you guys my calendar if you saw it. So it's pretty large. I hang it on my wall, and it's literally staring me in the face at all times when I'm in my office. But I also have a planner that I keep with me, and I map out everything. And literally, this is business stuff. This is Beachbody. This is work. This is fitness. This is literally everything in those places. And I also map out events that might get in the way. So when you think about how you're going to grow your business or how you're going to stick to your health and fitness, you need to have your events on there, because if you have a vacation coming up, that's going to throw a wrench in your plans from a health and fitness standpoint, sure. But also as you're planning your challenge groups. So you need to remember what's going on in your personal life as well. So that's step 2, get a calendar and map everything out. Step 3 is the hardest one for me. So it's brainstorming what I need to do to commit to everything that I've laid out in steps 1 and step 2. So personally, what can I do to achieve my goals and how can I get there? I'm going to have obstacles along the way. How am I going to combat those and what am I going to do to set myself up for success? So really just kind of having a brainstorming session and jotting everything down to say, here's the obstacle I have. What am I going to put in place to work around that? Step 4, using your crystal ball. So looking into the future, what's coming down the pike from a business standpoint? And what I mean by that is product launches, Shakeology new flavors that are going to be coming out. There's going to be a huge announcement. If you guys haven't already thought about going to Super Saturday, or if you don't have your tickets purchased, you should try to get there. I know some of the events, for those of you in the Boston area, Boston's sold out at this point because autumn's coming to town, which is so awesome, but it's completely sold out. So it's not too late for a lot of places, but if you can get a ticket, that's where they announce all the product launches. Shakeology flavor, I know they're announcing new ones this year. So try to get there if you can, and use those to your advantage as you're planning your 30, 60, 90 days. It's only going to help you in your business, but also helping your customers get excited about their path. When Core to Force came out, my Beachbody business exploded. It's absolutely insane. People get excited. They're kind of stuck in their old ruts of doing the same things, and they're looking for a change, and it's cool that you get to do it alongside them. What else? Also, so I talked about Super Saturday. Make sure you're posting about these things. So when you're thinking about gearing up to go to Super Saturday, talk about it. You're going to be surrounded by so much inspiration and so cool live workout, which is absolutely insane, with some super trainers, but also if they're not available, there's coaches that lead the workout. So you could always consider doing something like that too for those of you that are into group fitness training. And then post about some of the stuff, even if you're not doing it yourself. Look into the future about what Claire and I are putting together. We're happy to share those resources for you guys and map out your plan to say, you know, my team is hosting a coach sneak peek. If anyone's ever thought of this, we'd be happy to throw you in. There's no commitment. They can just get a sneak peek into coaching if it's ever kind of piqued their interest. Just because you're not running it, someday you will be, but you can invite them because it's your team and we're here to support you. And then new coach training. So you might not be in a place yet where you're, you know, ready to send out new coach training, but it should definitely be on your 90-day plan because you will get coaches. Even if you're brand new to this business, you're going to have challengers that want to become coaches eventually, whether it's today, tomorrow, or next week. It will happen. And Claire and I will walk you through that process. Don't feel like you're on your own or overwhelmed with, I don't know what to do. We're still beg, borrow, and stealing from Kelsey Smith with her videos, and this has been 2 years. So it doesn't you don't have to recreate the wheel. We'll help and guide you through that process, but think about it over the next 90 days. What would you do if that happened? And I don't mean to say this in a negative way because it's not an obstacle, but that obstacle could come your way where you'd be faced with that. So think about how you'd plan for it. So that was step 4, looking into the future. Step 5, creating a game plan based on steps 1 through 4. So what Claire and I do when we're mapping out our 3-month plan, so 90 days, is we write out all of the groups we're going to run. We write out our team calls and what the topics are going to be. And we also write out program launch dates as well as challenge groups. And we start promoting those. So like on my calendar, 2 weeks before the challenge group starts, I start promoting the challenge group, start inviting people to join it. It's never too early to invite. And I know that we've had this conversation a few times in our team calls where we talk about, well, it's the middle of the month and I don't really want to invite someone right now because I'm already in the middle of a challenge group and I don't know what to do because it's an awkward time. Figure it out when it happens, right? Like we can't just sit around and wait for people because they need your help now. And let's be real, other than Serafina, I don't know, there's no one like you. Other than her, there's no one I've ever talked to that said, yeah, I want to sign up right this second. Say no more. That doesn't happen, guys. That's rare. So you need to start your conversations now and start planning for challenge groups that are coming over the next 30, 60, 90 days. So start thinking about that right now. Spring's coming. Everyone's freaking out about wearing bathing suits and shorts. Help them achieve their goals. Then in May, what's going to be coming after that? Summer. Then after, you know what I mean? It's a vicious cycle. Barbecues are happening. Cocktails are happening. All of this stuff. Help people achieve and just set them up for the next group. And if they're in your current group for 2 weeks and you transition them into the next one, that's fine too. But just start planning for that stuff. That's 5, creating your game plan. One thing that I texted Claire this earlier today when I was preparing for this call, because I didn't do it all like in the 11th hour, guys. I really did think about this. But it needs to be in your face, just like your vision board. I've created my vision board and it's literally hanging in my face all the time. And I'll be 100% honest with you guys, shit is coming true on that vision board. Like, unbelievable. It's just happening because I'm staring at it and it's crazy. But you have to have this stuff in your face. You have to have your calendar there. You have to have it telling you what's going on, because otherwise your brain is going to be scrambled and you're never going to know how to set your people up for success and your business won't move forward. So just make sure that you're using your calendar, you're using the groups, you're plugging people in, and you're setting yourself up for success while helping others achieve the same. So I wrote it on my paper. Put it in your face. Honestly, just do it. Even if it's, storing it in your iPhone is not going to help you. I'm sorry. I know that this is like the way of the future, but it's not going to work for you. It needs to be like staring you in the face. You guys saw last week on Danielle's call, like she writes every name down that she talks to on a piece of paper. I'm not that aggressive, but sometimes you need to be. So try to do what works for you, but keep in mind that you have to have a plan and you need to map it out. Tangent. That was a long 5-step process, but I hope it strikes a chord with you guys. I'm sorry, I have my hands on this mug because it's literally freezing in New Hampshire tonight. But I really hope that it helps you think about how you're going to move things forward over the next 3 months, because at the end of those next 3 months, you're going to be halfway through this year, which is literally insane. So think about the resolutions you set for yourself, the goals you set for your business, and where you want to take your nutrition, and map that stuff out. Take it away, Claire.
Wait, sorry, I was like unmuting myself awkwardly. Honestly, I was writing notes down because it was like putting the fire under my butt about how much I need to, make sure I fully map out like my 30, 60, 90 day plan. And guys, let me just do a quick plug. The 12-week year is a phenomenal book. Like, if you need a book, or if you're an Audible girl like me, which I am slowly forcing my whole team to love Audible. No, but like, honestly, it's fabulous. Nicole and I are huge Audible people for busy ladies on the go. But 12-week year breaks that down. It basically breaks down, because I've had coaches, when you come to me and say, I want to hit this by December, I'm like, ooh, we're going to break that down. I was like, let me tell you right now, we are not waiting until December to hit that goal. Because honestly, it's like saying, if you had a challenger said they want to lose 10 pounds by December, it's like, are they actually serious about working on that? So if you come to me or to Nicole and say, yeah, I want to hit something by blank, you're not actually serious until you set dates and goals and deadlines and you actually put it in front of you. And Meredith knows, I shove that back in your face real quick. Because my coach did the same thing and it works. But honestly, I completely have to agree with Nicole about vision boarding your goals. It's not about just putting a big, lofty, like pretty picture of a house or a laptop on your vision board. No. I'm talking about dates. I'm talking about like actually getting serious. Like 3 months ago, let me tell you guys, we did not have team calls this big. Let me just completely say that. Like, that just shows how much our team has grown in a matter of 3 months. Okay. And that's not completely based on Nicole and I. This is because you guys have been hustling and working hard. This is a goal of Nicole and ours to grow our teams. But you guys are here because of you, you know? And so like that, I'm like, wow, like there are 12 people. Am I doing the math right? There are 12 people. There are 12 people on this call. And if I were to go back, honestly, 6 months ago, I still remember calls when Nicole and I would just show up.
And we would still record them.
We would still record them. And like, it got me, like, it really humbled me to remind myself that this time last year, guys, I set a goal for myself. I said, by the time I come back from my wedding, I said September 1st. Now, I know that's lofty. I know it seems far. And if you say anything about September 1st, I still will talk to you if you're on my team. But, that's over 90 days from now. But I told myself, I was like, September 1st, I'm going to start running my own team calls. And at that time, I had Christina, I had Loretta, and I had Julie, and that was it. And that's all I had. But that's all you need. And I just look at how far we've come. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting off my own tangent. But I was never serious about a vision board. I was never serious about, doing 90-day plans. I probably didn't even know what it was this time last year. But it's kind of, I'm a little neurotic. And not only do I have my vision board with my big, lofty, scary goals, but I also have my hanging calendar here, behind me, as if you guys know what I'm talking about. But I also have I have a paper written calendar that basically Nicole and I take notes on every week, and Nicole has hers too. And honestly, this is like, I put everything that goes on here goes on my big one right there. It's my big one's nice and pretty. It says dream big on it, so I can't not look at it. But this is like my planning Bible. And honestly, at the beginning of the year, my goal was, okay, I was like, Nicole and I we said to each other, I was like, okay, we have to run monthly free groups. We have to run monthly coaching opportunity calls. We have to do monthly coaching sneak peeks. And guys, let me sit here and tell you, they're not always pretty. They're not always beautiful. They're not always rock star, like what Danielle said on the call last night, Disney experiences. But you know what? Our goal was to do them. Our goal was to do them so that we created not only places for our challengers to get to know our team and get to know what coaching is, so that we were being consistent and we were being the coaches that we wanted to be, but so that you guys have a place to utilize those things too, so that you guys aren't recreating the wheel. So yeah, so 90 days ago, we didn't have a plan. We had a piece of paper and we just wrote it down. And you know what happened when we wrote it down? It forced us to do it. And as we got closer in January, I'll never forget, Nicole and I almost talked ourselves out of doing our first coaching opportunity call. We did not want to do it. We did not want to do it. And I don't even think we did a coach sneak peek. No. And I still won't lie. I don't think they're the prettiest things in the world, but you know what, guys? We're doing them, and that's all that matters. It's better than doing nothing. It's, done is better than perfect. And, and I sit back here and I think, wow, like just kind of like what Nicole said, like what you write down will come true. It's like what you track, is what you focus on, and so that's why I tell you guys, especially on my team, when I talk about hitting Success Club or hitting Emerald, or if you're working towards Diamond, don't just tell me that you want to hit it. Tell me your date of when you're pushing by. Because if you don't have a date attached to it, then it's not real. Then you're not actually putting that fire under your butt, And I have to do the same thing too, guys. Like my written goal of hitting Success Club is by tomorrow. I'm at Success Club too. But I'm treating that as a hard deadline. I'm treating that as like, I have to hit that no matter what. So, and that's just an example with Success Club, but, it's writing it down, seeing it. That's why I have this paper is right here on my desk. I have my hanging one, and you guys have seen, actually, I just have like a lot of things. I have too many things. My team has seen my dry erase board from time to time. I have my giant dry erase board. But you know what? Repetition helps. They say the more times you hear things and write things down, I guess I'm assuming the teachers in here would agree. But what's nice about having, and I'm kind of going on a vision board tangent here, What I love about having my vision board here, and because you guys know that I work out down here, which I know not everyone works out in their office like me, but honestly, when I work out, I effing stare at it. Like, I seriously stare at it, you know? I look at, like, when I'm, like, effing hating the burpees that Tony's making me do right now, or those damn gorilla crawls, like, I look at that, and I'm like, that's what's pushing me, you know? And, Christine, I have your card up here. It says, like a boss. Like, that's up here, guys. And, you know, and my last thing that I'm going to plug was in January when they released that the next Success Club trip was going to be held in Mexico next year. And I immediately checked that list. And I also immediately found out that Nicole and I weren't on it. And I was crushed because we had worked really hard. I think we both had a lot of ups and downs last year. But when they released that this trip was going to be in Riviera Maya, which is where Richard and I went on our honeymoon, not the same resort, but it was going to be in Riviera Maya, I was like, my dream is to take Richard back there, all expenses paid. Yes, we're going to Punta Cana this year, but that was not all expenses paid because I owed portions of the payment of the trip because I missed the months of Success Club. My point is, I was like, once they announced it, I was like, I'm effing going to Mexico. It's like, I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. And I put it on here and I wrote Mexico 2018. And I'll never forget getting an email back in February that not only did I get off the wait list, but my husband can go, Nicole can go, and I've already paid off the first payment of this trip just from working this business these last 3 months. Something that I could not do at all last year. And I'm not saying this to brag, guys. You know, please do not compare yourself to me. Please do not. Don't feel bad about where you're at in this business, guys, because so much can change in 90 days if you let it. But you have to show up, you have to do the work, and you have to write down those goals and hustle. You know, that's why the 12-week year is just so good, because it's like treating each week like a month. I'm not telling you that you have to all of a sudden do 8 million times the work, but something I've been talking about in a lot of my one-on-ones with you guys has been pick one thing right now and focus on it hard. Focus on it hard for 1 month and just go at it, you know, but whether it's an organizational system, whether you're just trying to make sure that you do your power hour every day, or you're going to make sure that you're going to do your workout at this time of day and your power at this, like whatever it is, just go after it, but write it down. Nothing is real until you write it down. That's probably why I have like a little too much going on in here. Nicole, I know you have the same thing going on over there too.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, so as you were talking, Loretta typed in the chat about having a team vision board call, which I think is fantastic. Yeah. But it got me thinking about the reason we make these 30, 60, 90-day plans. And it brought me back to why I even ever picked up a Shakeology sample, or why I ever started working out at home, or why I wanted to share this opportunity on social media. Because, guys, that shit is scary. When you're first starting out posting or committing to $130 a month, that's scary as hell. And you have all these student loans to pay off and all this stuff, and like you're just not sure how you're going to make it work. You have to really bring it back to why you're doing this. So everything that you will ever do in this business, in your fitness, in your nutrition, comes back to your why. Why you started, why you're wanting to share it, and why you're setting up a plan. So keep that in mind, because to be honest with you, I freaking hate coach sneak peeks. I hate having weird calls on Facebook where you don't know who's going to hop in. It's creepy. I don't like it, especially when they're live and you don't know who's watching you and what their face looks like on the other end. So I'm doing it because I know there's someone out there like me who's all judgy about all of this and needs to hear it, probably with a few curse words. I could probably use a few fewer, but needs to hear the truth about it and needs to hear what it's done for me and how it can help them. And I'll be honest, like I used to be in like such a rut about like, goals, New Year's resolutions, I'm never going to achieve them. And I would start every year with that freaking shitty attitude and I would never achieve anything. But now, because I know I have a bigger purpose and my goal is to help other people achieve their goals, I achieve mine as a result. crazy how it works, right? But honestly, like it wouldn't be happening if I wasn't writing this stuff down and putting a plan in place. Whether it's a year plan or a 3-month plan, whatever it is, it's in place and I'm working towards it. It might be at a tortoise's pace sometimes, but it's still happening. So keep that stuff in mind. Like, don't feel discouraged because I've been there, Claire's been there, we've all been there. And it's not always easy. Sometimes you have to drag your ass out of bed and it sucks. But it happens, and you'll be so grateful when you look back and see people on the call like this. Like, this makes me so happy to see all of you guys on here. It literally has been me and Claire sometimes. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I'm like getting choked up. I'm like such a mess these days.
Oh God, don't be, you guys, our anniversary team call is just going to be a mess. There's going to be champagne. There will definitely be like champagne there. That would be awesome. But you know, actually, Nicole, as you were saying that, some of you guys know I'm in this diamond group right now, and one of the top coaches said this really cool thing. She's like, set a timer for like 5 to 10 minutes, and she basically was like, think about the kind of life that you want to live. And I don't just mean go off in la la land in your brain, but like seriously think like, you know, how would you feel? What would you do during the day? Where would you be? What would your house look like? What would your family look like? Like, you know, actually visualize the life that you want to live. And I'm not necessarily, you know, and maybe that includes a job, maybe that includes a spouse or whatever. I don't know. But it's like, how do you want to live? That's the question. You know, I'm not talking about like, you know, the life outside of your job. I'm talking about how do you actually want to live? Yes, it will. Now you're just derailing me. But that kind of goes back to your why, and actually that's why I think that's so important that you said that, Nicole, because honestly, nobody wants to wake up, like nobody wants to, you know, speaking as, you know, Nicole and I are your coaches, nobody wants me to, you know, none of you guys want me to tell you, wake your damn ass up at 5 a.m., do your workout, do your power hour. How many times do I talk to you guys about your workouts and power hours during our one-on-ones? I saw all of my team eyeballs just shoot up real quick. But if there's no why behind it, like, yes, you guys want to be in shape. Yes, you want to lose weight. And yes, you want to help people. But so does the rest of the damn world. Sorry. Like, that's the truth. And until that your why is so powerful that that's the reason that gets you up in the morning, and that's the reason that makes you do your power every day, that's the game changer. You know, some of you guys know some of my big scary goals, and, you know, I've shared them with you guys, and I've shared them with Rachel. And, you know, when I realized like June 1st is coming hella fast, you know, I'll never forget what Kelsey Smith said. She hosted a spouse call on Danielle's team not too long ago. And she said, guys, for those of you that have spouses, or whether you don't have spouses, it doesn't matter. But she said, if you know, one of your big whys and one of your things is because you want to create more, let's just say, time for yourself, or time for you and your spouse, you know, then you better damn back that up with work. You can't ask for support and love from your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or friends and family if you're not actually plugging in and doing the work. You know, if you're not plugging in and doing the work, then that doesn't give you the right or the rein to then ask for that support. So sorry, this is a little bit of my tough love, but it just kind of goes back to like, that's your why. If that's your why, back it up with work. Back it up with the work. And like, I don't know, for me, like, I used to complain about like, oh, I feel like Richard doesn't support me and I'm annoyed. And why can't you just support me like other people? It was like, well, damn it, I better shut my mouth and get down here. And that's what fuels me in the morning now. Just because, you know what's awesome, guys? Now that I kick my ass with my own power hour and my workout, is that after this call, I have to go up and sit on the couch with him. That's my why. That's my why right now. And I look forward to that. I love you guys, and I like seriously want some wine to cheers with you guys right now. But that's my bigger purpose, and he's upstairs. You know? So Christine, I love how serious you are. Dedication. But guys, honestly, if there's anything we can leave you with tonight is take your goals, write them down. Gosh, maybe we should one day. I don't know if we'll have time for it, but do like a goal writing party, the 90-day goal writing party. Maybe that'll be a future call one day. But this was helpful, Nicole.
I was just going to say too, guys, in a couple weeks, so Claire and I met earlier to map out our April calls. In a couple weeks, we're going to talk about this topic in a little bit smaller of a way. So we're going to talk about our daily plan and our weekly plan. So my business and life has changed like tremendously since I started mapping out my week and mapping out my days, so that I can reward myself with time with my husband and with my friends, and really dedicating time to this business and my other job when I need to, right? Because it's easy to get caught up in sitting on social media for hours and hours and hours. So mapping out your day in a way that will set you up for success. So we'll talk about that in more detail, and I have some really cool resources to share with you guys when we get to that point. Visuals always help me, so I like to share them with other people. But then the only other thing, I know we're almost at time, that I wanted to share was in terms of, so Claire just said, she busted her butt to get her workout done and do her power hour and stuff because she wanted to be rewarded to go spend time with her husband. So as you're thinking about different goals that you have and writing those out or mapping out your plan for the next 30, 60, 90, think about how you can reward yourself when you achieve certain things along the way. It doesn't have to be food, although I know that's nice. But it can be something so small, like anything. Like I personally will just buy myself like a new workout tank top because I reached a goal. Like, yes, Halo top is life, but like things like that, like just set yourself small rewards to correspond with your goals, and honestly, it will drive you to achieve them. Concert tickets, anything, like just do something to set yourself on fire a little bit. So we have a minute left. I hate to not leave much time for questions, but we can definitely open the call next time to talk a little bit if you guys have any questions, or you can reach out to Claire and myself if you have anything that's burning and you want to talk about it. We're happy to help. And if you want us to share what our 30, 60, 90 looks like, happy to do that too. Kind of talk through it tonight, but again, visual person, so I get it.
Little plug to my team. If you ask me to share mine, it'll force me to do it. So just saying. Last little plug too, guys, if you guys want any specific topics that you want Nicole and I to speak on, please let us know. We are always taking, advice and options from you guys, because we want to better help serve you guys and things that you're struggling with and working on. So know that you can always request topics. So that's it.
Cool. Well, have a great week, you guys, and we'll talk with you next week.
Bye, guys. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.